going to show you guys how I teach basic jumping mechanics to my athletes. The first portion of this video is just going to be some of the common mistakes that I see with my athletes. Now, as you can see, the very first part of this video, as the athlete loads up their body, their knees roll in, and as they proceed with trying to get off the ground into their actual triple extension, their knees roll in again. It's what we call a valgus movement, and this is very dangerous. It's a pretty big indicator that that athlete is high risk for some non-contact ACL tears. The second mistake that I see is the athlete not properly loading their body and not using their arms. They're just getting a little shallow squat and they're trying to just explode up just using their legs. One of the other mistakes that I see, athletes have a pretty solid jump. However, they're not focusing on the landing. They land stiff legs, staggered stance, and all those forces transfer, go right to our joints instead of loading up our muscles. This tears down our athletes over time. This brings me to the 4 phases of jumping progressions. I learned this at my time at Colorado Mesa University, and I want to share it with you guys. This first starts off with phase 1, the lift portion. I want my athletes to get nice and tall and extended. They achieve this by getting to the top of their feet. They're on their toes, they're extending their ankles, knees, and hips, and they're reaching their arms as high as possible above their head. You can have athletes all spread out and do this together. They can hold that 5-10 seconds at the very top. Now, once they get phase 1, they go to phase 2, the lift to the load. They get to their lift, they pause, and then they wind up their arms, they're pulling their knees out, and they're getting down into a power position. Now, with this, I want my athletes to push their butt back, and I want their shoulders either right on top of their knees or slightly over. This is gonna load up our posterior chain, our glutes, and our hamstrings a lot more. For phase 3, the athlete puts it all together. They lift, they load, and then they jump, and they pause at each one of these segments of the jump. When they do finally jump, it's very important that they recoil. They end up back into their load position. This ensures that all the forces that are produced during this movement are transferred to our muscles and not our joints. Now, once they master phase 3, we can go to phase 4. They go to a lift, to a load, to a jump. They might pause at their lift. However, when they go to their load, they stomp their feet in. They are exploding straight up. I cue them to be like a bouncy ball here. You want to throw a bouncy ball at the ground, it hits the ground and it bounces straight back up. There's no pause time here.